We're going to take a very brief jump out to Cedric, who's in Sustainability Zone, but I want to come back to you. Okay. Cedric, can you hear me?
To look at anything specific?
I can actually, and I'm like using some movements and showing you my flexibility, Steve. But anyway, I'm here on the solution, in the world of solutions. Let me say that for actually the energy management kind of booth, I would say, and I'm joined by Tripta, who is one of our directors of strategy and product management. Tripta, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm enjoying my time here at Cisco Live. What about yourself?
Yes, having a good time. This is a great place to be.
Awesome, great. So let's just dive in. This is energy management, right? Can you tell us a little bit more about what is energy management exactly, and like how does this link with like data centers and like the campus and so on? Like, why is it important?
Yeah. So energy management is basically giving our customers the ability to track, report, and optimize on their energy, cost, and carbon footprint. AI is wreaking havoc everywhere, and we know data centers are actually become critical hubs for running those compute for the AI workloads. And on the building side, the 30% of the final energy consumption is actually attributed to the operations of buildings. So that's why energy management is critical for both the campus and the data centers. And obviously the benefits are significant, right? There are mandatory reporting governance requirements that are requiring customers to monitor and track these important metrics. There is cost savings to be had, there is energy efficiency, minimizing energy waste, so all the good stuff.
All the good stuff, I love that. So you said that we have to like measure, right? So what are some of these metrics that, for example, governments would like be interested in, etc.?
So governments are actually requiring for companies to report on their carbon emissions so that it's directly tied to the environmental impact. And that comes back to how does Cisco ensure that there are system efficiencies and component efficiencies in our infrastructure itself, right? So the 5 energy metrics we have standardized on are energy consumption, which we directly own and control. We're also extending the visibility to beyond IT devices, so any kind of PoE devices that are connected directly to our Cisco Catalyst 9000 series of switches. So that's lighting, shades, digital signage, sensors, cameras. So it's extending the visibility beyond IT to a lot more. And then on the data center side, we're also expanding the scope to include smart and intelligent PDU integrations. So it's expanding the scope to a lot more. We are correlating that with 24/7, 365 days a year grid information. So getting information like carbon intensity. When we multiply that with our energy consumption, customers are actually able to estimate greenhouse gas emissions. And we're also giving them estimated cost so that they can estimate power savings.
So we have to wrap up, but I just want to quickly grab, like, let's say in one sentence, why is this really important?
Economic rationality. I think if you're looking for top line and bottom line savings, this is the place to go.
Awesome, that was one sentence. Thank you so much, Tripta. It was good to see you. We're going back to the studio. I think I'm going back to Steve, if I'm correct, right?
We are indeed. Thank you, Cedric, and thanks again to Tripta. Excellent button there on the end of that conversation. Well done. Appreciate you bringing that to me. So we are back in the studio. Samuel is still here with me, only this time we're joined by another one of our great transportation customers. Marcus, welcome. I'll let you take over from here and make the official introduction.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us, Marcus. So Marcus, you are with RWS. So maybe explain to the audience, who is RWS and what do you do exactly?
RWS is the executive branch of the Department of Transportation. We're basically responsible for all the highways, waterways, and our water quality and quantity management within the entire country.
In Netherlands?
In Netherlands,
Yes. So you are a local guy.
Okay,
very nice to meet you. So tell a little bit the audience, I know you have been using the industrial IoT technology, and explain people, what are the use cases? What is it that you use the technology for?
Yeah, so key in our business is that we need to have data across all our networks. So basically, we need to know how much water is coming into our country, how much water is coming from the sea, how much cars are going across the roads, how long they are, how fast they are going, and how much ships are going through our canals. Okay. All that data is used to make sure our traffic and our water is managed as efficiently as possible. And it's also we also use it to predict how high the water is coming, to make sure that we protect our citizens from floods or droughts.
Yeah, no, that's really good. You know, technology that is used every day behind the scenes. So it's very cool to see that. So obviously, you know, we've been talking before with Fabio, another customer, about cybersecurity in those industrial environments. So from your point of view, how has the threat evolved over the last few years? What do you see?
Yeah, so we're seeing a massive increase in our threat landscape. We have our own security operations center, and that constantly monitors the threats that are coming at our organization. We're seeing DDoS attacks, but also more directed attacks against critical infrastructure. Especially with the war going on in Ukraine, we're seeing DDoS attacks against our organization, against our websites, and that are very public. So we need to protect against that.
So how are you doing it? How are you facing those threats? What do you do with your team to do that?
Yeah, so we're doing a combination of technologies. So we have, on one side, we have our internal network. So we have 5,000 kilometers of our own glass fiber environment. And that makes sure that if something happens, we can always work within our own network. That's a huge asset. Secondly, we also use cloud infrastructure to make sure that we have enough capacity in order to increase our platforms as soon as a DDoS attack comes, or use more advanced application firewalls to protect against more specific attacks.
You know, that's really good. So, you know, we've told before, and you told me, so you have the IT and the OT team. So, how you make them work together? You know, what's your organization, and what are the tricks and trades that you have in organization for that?
Especially in relation to cybersecurity, we made a decision in 2017 to combine our IT and OT SOC. We were building it out. We knew the threats were coming, and we need to find a new solution that really reflected that threat. So we combined our SOC, where we are managing the threats on the IT side and on the OT side, and combining those. So we have a holistic view of all the threats that are coming in order to protect the critical assets that we have, because they are mostly in the OT environment, but the threats are coming mostly from the IT environment.
No, that's fantastic. So last question, I have to ask you, everyone is talking about AI.
Yeah.
You know, where is AI delivering value for you?
Yeah, so we're seeing a massive potential in AI, and not only generative AI, but also at normal other AI stuff, right? So one of the things we're doing right now is replacing the rescue teams that are necessary to fix crashes that are coming on the highways, that are going on the highways, replacing them strategically based on AI, based on data, so that they can resolve the crashes as fast as possible, so the cars can flow when they are needed.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Marcus. Thank you for hosting us. Back to you, Steve. I'm sure you found another use case.
That was absolutely fun. Oh, are you kidding? We can do this all day long. Marcus, thank you for joining us in the studio. Samuel, great job, as always. Always love to have you in here. We are headed to our next center stage session, this time with Denise Lee, who is going to be talking with us about all of the different ways that we can design and future-proof our energy systems, really everything from the data center out to the cloud. Denise is such a great speaker, and she's got a great session ahead for you, talking about why Cisco is right out there at the forefront. How do we shape the future, create the critical role in energy, how we transform the energy landscape all around us, right? So what does that mean? Sustainable design, it means future-proofing the energy grid, our buildings, our networks, our data centers, really whatever energy requirements are out and around the corner, AI, whatever comes next, Cisco gets it. We know the urgency of designing and future-proofing great energy systems. That is how we meet emerging demands and create efficiency. So we're going to send it out to Denise in center stage. Thank you for being with us on the live broadcast, and away we go.